I call the authorities, I tell them what's going on. This guy literally was driving up and down the street in front of the truck stop looking at the trucks that were parked there. I'm assuming that he was looking at my truck because he's thinking that I'm interested in what he's got going on. Had that guy walked up to my truck, I'm gonna beat his fucking ass. Oh my God. Put these stuff up. I'm about to get on this road right quick. I just left Anytime Fitness. If you follow me on like TikTok, I always preach like, hey man, get you a 24-hour gym membership that's nationwide. You got Anytime Fitness, work out anytime, Planet Fitness. Please forgive me for the lighting. It's 3:30 in the morning. The lighting is a lot better back here. And this video is not gonna be long. I just had a real crazy experience while I was driving a couple days ago, and I wanted to make this for anybody that's looking to become a truck driver. Listen, a lot of the companies that you work for, pretty much every company that you may work for, whether it's Rail Transport, Prime, JB Hunt, Schneider, all of these companies, the number one thing that they're going to preach to you is safety above all else. If you don't feel safe, don't do this. If you don't feel like you can do this, ask for help. They're always going to preach safety. Let's turn that off. They're talking about safety in the sense of protecting you and the truck. You have to take this other aspect of safety into your own hands when it comes to your personal safety. What do I mean by that? A couple days ago, I was in West Virginia. I can't remember the town, but it was town off of a mountain. I already ran out of time. All of the truck stops were full, and usually when you go to these mountain places that have a lot of mountains usually don't have a lot of consistent truck stops. I'm driving, I'm coming off of the exit. I believe the truck stop was called Go-Mart. This guy, disgusting ass guy, as I'm driving down the mountain, he pulls up next to my truck, purposely slows down, levels out with my truck, has his lights on inside of his car, and he's masturbating. Right? He's just going to town on himself. In my mind, I'm immediately in defense mode. I'm like, okay, I gotta avoid this guy at all costs because this is a sick bastard. He got off at the next exit. Guess who had to get off at the next exit too? Not only am I in defense mode, this must be some type of initiation. Hey, I'm gonna show you this, then I'm gonna get off at this exit. If you follow me, that means that you are interested in what I have to offer. I get off at the exit, he pulls into this little gravel area. The truck stop is off to the left. He pulls off to the left into this little gravel area. I go down to the truck stop, I pull in, park my truck. I see his car come into the gas station as well. So okay, I called my job, I told them what the problem was, they told me to call the authorities. I call the authorities, I tell them what's going on, because this guy, he was driving up and down the street in front of the truck stop looking at the trucks that were parked there. I'm assuming that he was looking at my truck because he's thinking that I'm interested in what he's got going on. Let me preface this by saying, I'm a big fella. You see, I do the little flex and shit or whatever. I'm a very reserved person. If I ever get into a conflict with somebody, I always want to talk it out first. Most people are not going to be able to handle that level of calmness, especially if they feel you've done them wrong. So I always want to talk things out first. Then if things get too hot and heavy, I'm just going to leave you alone. Because the last resort is physicality. And I don't want to do that because I'm not afraid of that person per se. I'm more so afraid of what I could do. Because I think the main reason why I don't like being physical is because I think like long term. I think after the fact. Okay, I punch this guy in his face, I knock him out, he hits his head on the ground, he dies, now I'm going to jail for homicide. I don't want to deal with shit like that, right? So I try to avoid problems at all costs. But sometimes you get forced into situations that you may not be ready for, whether or not you played a role in it or not. And you have to be proactive, and you have to think, and you have to be reactive. You have to be both proactive after the fact, and so you can prevent this thing from happening again, but then you have to be reactive in the moment. So I called the authorities, they said they would send somebody out and things of that nature, and then I ultimately went to sleep. Extremely uncomfortable, because I feel as though now I'm gonna have to get physical, and I might have to take this dude out. They don't want you to carry guns. I got a knife that I use to cut stuff, I clean it, and I use to do all kind of stuff. This right here, this is my line of defense right here. And this, I don't want to get to a point to where I have to use any of that. I'm making this video specifically for you to understand that there's a lot of crazy fucking people out here in this world. There's a lot of crazy fucking people out here in this country. And if you're over the road, especially if you're inexperienced, you 9 times out of 10 are going to come into contact with a lot of goofy ass people. This is why I preach that you start early. It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm about to start my day right now. The longest I could potentially stay out is 6. You start early, you get off the road relatively early, but I'm probably gonna stop around 2 o'clock. You decrease the chance of running into the bullshit that I ran into if you start early. Like I said before, I'm a big, strong motherfucker. Man, I just left the gym, went crazy. I'm this big, strong young guy. And what about the young lady who wants to drive truck, wants to better her life, and she's uncomfortable, and she's in a situation where she doesn't have the most protection? What about the lesser guy who's maybe not as big as me, maybe not as strong as me, who's not very physical? What about him who would seek to avoid confrontation at all times? But what about the people who are not in the situation that I'm in? This video is for you all. Understand that you 9 times out of 10, you're always going to run into assholes while you driving. You're going to run into all types of people. But there is a very small chance that you will run into sick bastards like the one I did. And I'm trying to tell you, you need to be cautious. You need to be safe. You need to have your wits about you. You need to understand that these things may or may not happen, but you have to be prepared for it. If you ever get into a situation like that, immediately call the police, because your company may not be able to help you. The most they may be able to do is tell you to lock your doors, don't let anybody in, obviously, and call the police as well. They could call the police for you too. You call the cops, you take the necessary precautions, you tell them exactly what's happening, and you just do what they say. In a situation like that, if had that guy walked up to my truck, all this power that I use in my truck, it sometimes when I'm driving on the road and I hit a bump or whatever, it trips the power. So I sometimes have to go out and restart my inverter. Who's to say this guy wouldn't have walked up on me as I'm restarting my inverter? I'm not about to just sit there and be like, hey guy, the cops are on the way, leave me alone. I'm gonna beat his fucking ass. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't fucking do sick shit like that, bro. You know what I mean? I'd feel the same way if it was a lady who did that shit. It doesn't matter who it is, but people do it. So if I was set in a situation to where now I have to defend myself, I'm going to defend myself. And it's not going to be a good day for you. I'm spitting all over the place because this shit really made me upset. Like, it genuinely made me upset. But that being said, man, please take the necessary precautions to protect yourself while you're out here on this road. We literally deliver the packages, we deliver the freight that make the country work. We're away from our friends, our family, our things that we like to do while we're home. We're in a very uncomfortable position at all times. There's no reason that we should have to deal with all of the shit I just said, plus sick, twisted, disgusting fuckers like the one I just mentioned. So definitely be safe, protect yourself at all times. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, share, comment if you've ever run into some shit like that before. Share this because there's somebody that may want to drive truck and may need to see this video as well. So definitely share this, get it out there. Hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. Till next time. Deuce. It is hot as a bitch in here. Woo! Turn all these damn lights off. Now it's time to get my day started.